day in downtown Denver. The Rockies set for afternoon baseball, looking to end a difficult slide. They've lost 8 in a row as they'll tee it up today again with the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Rockies at 51-50, the Pirates 36-64 so far in 2010. Hi, once again, everybody, with George Frazier. I'm Drew Goodman. The good news is there's still more than a third of the season left for the Colorado Rockies to turn around what has been a very difficult time period for them. They've lost 8 in a row. Today they'll send Ubaldo Jimenez to the hill, and even the great Ubaldo, who's had a marvelous season, 15-2, he's hit a rough patch. What have you seen, George?
Well, I think a couple of things in his delivery. When he jabs the hand down, he'll get too far behind him a couple of times, but I think more than anything, don't overload him. He is 15-2. He does have an earned run average under 3. I mean, this guy is a special talent. The other day, he couldn't find the strike zone, and when he did find it, he got hit hard by one of the better RBI guys in the game of baseball today. The 6 walks, you're not going to see that often. You're not going to see things like guys calling timeout, throwing wild pitches. Obviously, a bad outing for Ubaldo. He's back home where he loves to pitch in this ballpark. He's going against the team he has to defeat, has yet to lose a ballgame to in his career. He's in a good place. Just leave him alone. Let him go out and pitch.
Do you think he's put a little too much pressure on himself? He says no, but he was lights out for 3 months. And the Rockies, typically, when he takes the baseball, it's been after a loss. Do you think inside he's been putting too much heat on himself?
Not any more than maybe every player in that locker room when you get an 8-game losing streak like this, because you're trying to work your way out of it by swinging the bat, throwing a baseball. I don't think he has. I think he's just hit a bad spot where he couldn't throw strikes consistently. Guys started taking pitches. The good split finger in the dirt. They're not swinging anymore. They're forcing it.
So the operative word for him and for the rest of the team, relax today.
Just relax, go play some baseball.
There you go. We'll come back. We'll talk about a guy who was relaxed at the plate last night. He is swinging the bat well. Seth Smith. Rockies getting ready to take on the Bucks. Thursday afternoon at Coors Field. And it'll be Ubaldo Jimenez going against a pretty good left-hander. Paul Mahalam will go for Pittsburgh. He's been their steadiest arm this year in a rotation that has struggled. Back upstairs with George Frazier, I'm Drew Goodman. Last night, Seth Smith swung the bat very well, and that's kind of been a trend of late. Smith actually would have had 4 hits last night if McCutchen wasn't out there in center field.
Yeah, well, McCutchen didn't play today, so maybe he could. You know, it's one of those situations, I think, again, that you look at what he has been able to do and the highlights he's been able to put out. Guys make mistakes up in the zone. He makes them pay for it. You see exactly what he's done in this series, what he's done on the season with the home runs, and particularly late in ball games, what he has been able to produce and what he has been able to do. This is a very strong baseball player. A guy that can hurt you with the long ball, can hurt you with the line drive.
And he's great late in ball games, as everybody at home knows. That's what his role will be today, because he's not in the lineup initially against Paul Mahalam. So the Rockies looking to end an 8-game slide today. And for more on their situation, we go downstairs to Alana Rizzo. Alana?
All right, guys. Thanks very much. Coming up for me in the ball game, what's in a name? Garrett Jones of the Pittsburgh Pirates has many nicknames. I'll tell you his favorite one and why. And then Call of Duty. It's a game that a lot of people play, and I'll tell you a couple of people on the Pirates that do it and take it to a whole other level. And then familiar faces. Rockies reliever Joe Beimel and their guy over there on the Pittsburgh side, Neil Walker, have a friendship that started pretty early in their career. I'll tell you about that, guys.
All right, Alana, thanks very much. Ubaldo Jimenez going for win number 16. Rockies and Pirates, come on back to Coors Field with us. Get blazing fast speeds that won't burn up your wallet. By E470, quick, easy, and available to anyone. Test drive it today. By Ford Taurus, the all-new Ford Taurus. It's America's most innovative full-size sedan. Ford Taurus, drive one. And by Brakes Plus, a whole lot more. Looks like a refreshing place to be. Warm afternoon at Coors Field, Business Persons Special. Rockies had almost 47,000 on Tuesday, close to 40,000 last night. Jose Tabata will lead it off. That was not the original plan. Andrew McCutchen was in the original lineup at the top, but I think that shoulder's bothering him, George, and he was a late scratch. So Tabata will lead it off, and he'll be followed in the lineup for John Russell today by Delwyn Young. He's playing right field. He's a switch hitter. Neil Walker's a switch hitter. He has swung the bat in this series. Garrett Jones, 4 knocks, 2 homers yesterday. Pedro Alvarez, the veteran Ryan Church, Bobby Crosby, the former Oakland A's star, Jason Jaramillo out of Oklahoma State University, and Paul Mahalam. That's 1 through 9 today as we take a look at the scouting report. One I'm sure you know well, Ubaldo Jimenez.
Yeah, it is pretty good. 15-2, 275. People look at all the struggles. There's a lot of guys in the game of baseball like to be 15-2 at the end of the season. Fastball 92 to 100, slider, curve, and the changeup at 86 to 90 for Ubaldo. Well, if he gets you 0-2, folks, you can Katie bar the door. They've hit nothing but 107.
First pitch brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Text keyword pizza followed by a space in your name to 95323 to receive your Domino's special offer and to be entered to win a pizza party for 12. One weekly winner will be chosen. Here's the 1-0 to Tabata, and that's in there for a strike at 95. I'm sure Pittsburgh, particularly after the last few outings for Ubaldo, will be selective early to make sure that Ubaldo is throwing strikes. 6 walks in 2 innings in his last outing. That's chop foul 1 and 2. That hard two-seam fastball.
Young umpire behind the plate, Paul, getting an opportunity today. Alan Porter is getting his opportunity to call balls and strikes. I'm sure he's excited about the opportunity to have Ubaldo.
Yeah, you get a swinging bunt out of the gate, and you can just see Ubaldo's body language. As if to say, come on, man, you got to be kidding.
Well, that's what happens when stuff is nasty. A lot of times you just barely make contact with the baseball.
He hits it 30 feet, and he's at first base.
Well, Ubaldo made the pitch he wanted to, down and away from him. Then it's just tapped out in front of the mound. All you can do is just eat it as a pitcher. What Drew talked about, that body language, just disappointed in the facts, a little shrug of the shoulders. So with the strikeouts, you have a man on first.
Well, you want to have early success. You want to get. I'm sure he still is supremely confident, but I don't care who you are. When you hit a rough patch, it affects you mentally.
Well, it sure does.
Even if you've got 15-2.
Well, it affected the great ones when you run into a rough patch in your season.
Melvin Mora holding on Tabata, who runs well. And that's off the plate. 2-0 on Delwyn Young. Ubaldo's perfect at home. He's 6-0.
And his career 24-12 at home.
This is popped up, and Stewart may have a play. He does. 1 out. Let's take a look at the Rockies defensively this afternoon. Cargo's in left field. Dexter Fowler in center, Ryan Spilborgh's in right. Stewart, Tulowitzki, Barmes at second base, Mora at first, and Miguel Olivo has caught every ball game in this series so far. Iannetta was scheduled to go yesterday. As we told you, his wife gave birth yesterday afternoon. Chris has not had a lot of sleep the last couple of days. We all who are parents understand that. So Miguel's back there, and Miguel has caught Ubaldo every start this year virtually. There's a strike. Walker at the plate, a .307 batting average. George, I was thinking about this today earlier. I know the Pirates have a slightly worse record at this juncture than they did a year ago, and they lost 99 games last year. So you're splitting hairs. They're not good. But I think this team, you can see promise, and I'm not trying to beat up the LaRoche brothers or Jack Wilson. But in the past few years, when you saw the Pirates, you're saying, well, where are they going? Because there was a lot of journeymen, and there wasn't a lot of young players that you could say, okay, I see where they're going. Now you can. That's high. McCutchen, this kid looks like a good player. Alvarez was the second pick in the draft. Garrett Jones is a guy that can hit the ball over the wall. You start to see some of the pieces.
Well, what I look at their club a lot, kind of comparison to what San Diego was at the first half or a little over the first half a year ago. They weren't a very good baseball team. And then all of a sudden, from about August 1st on, they played really good baseball, and that's what John Russell's trying to get his team to do, is to focus on the rest of the season. You can't change the losses that you have right now. I mean, that's one thing that's disappointing, obviously, to have 64 losses. But you can also change the ways the second half.
Runner going, and it's chopped foul. The one glaring difference in their rebuilding process with, say, a Padres club is that the Padres can pitch.
Well,
that's what we know. That's what the game's about.
And that's not something that this regime with the Padres went out and did. That's what Kevin Towers did before he was let go.
Yeah.
He stockpiled it with young pitching.
We got Latos going today. They begin play 9 up on the Rockies this afternoon. Rockies in 4th in the National League West. Fastball at 97 misses. 2-2 on Neil Walker. Tabata, an infield hit, is at first base. There's 1 out. Pirates have their first 2-game road winning streak since mid-May when they won a couple of ball games at Wrigley Field. Outside 3-2 with a changeup. Runner going. It's popped up, playable left side. Tulowitzki's got to find it, and he's going to get help from Cargo. Two outs as we take a look at our Suzuki keys to the game.
Well, you look at these yesterday, and we talked about 27 outs, but you also talk about your stopper, and that is not the guy closing the 9th inning, but your starting pitcher that stops losing streaks. Ubaldo has been just that guy. And just do a little. You don't have to worry about trying to do everything when you go out. I mean, you're not going to hit a 4-run home run unless the bases are loaded. So just go out and do what you can do. Do a little bit of that, and then the work of the bullpen and the bench through this ball game by Jim Tracy will be a key late in this game. Their bullpen has been outstanding.
Last night, their bullpen had to pick up 8 1/3 after the injury to Ohlendorf. This ball's pulled to right, and this is a fair ball. Long run for Spilvorgs. Tabata gets a green light. Here he comes to the plate. He's going to score on a double by Garrett Jones. You talk about a hot hitter. His 5th hit in the last 18 hours.
I thought Babe Ruth retired. Holy mackerel, this guy's pretty good. He's got to get a pitch from Ubaldo, a misfire. Wanted that ball down and away, and he ends up getting it in the inner half and down. He just smokes this thing down in the right field corner. You anticipate the Pirates to push the envelope and send the runner, even if you have perfect relays in, which the Rockies did, because it is Ubaldo on the mound, and you don't know how many opportunities you are going to get.
Well, Ubaldo and everybody else hoping for a quick and efficient first inning. And instead you have a run up on the board. And you have another runner in scoring position with Pedro Alvarez at the plate. And he takes a strike on the outside corner. And Ubaldo's now dialed it up, George, a couple miles an hour. This is the first time today he's hit 98.
A little frustration working. By the way, with Garrett Jones, something to make note of. Since being recalled on July 1st in 2009, he's hit 35 home runs. That's tied for 10th in baseball. And tied with, when I say he's tied, he's Derek Lee and Jason Worth. Fritz Fielder leads it with 50.
Well, that was weird. You get a safe call from Jeff Kellogg, then he thinks about it and goes, "You're out."
I think the finger came off when he slid back into the bag.
Rockies will take it. Pirates get a run. His spike. Great look on the Hyundai cam of the tag, but more importantly, the reason that Jeff Kellogg switched his call is look where the hand is. It's on Tulo's spike, and that's what Tulo was saying to Jeff Kellogg. And to Kellogg's credit, he took a longer look, and he changed his safe call to an out call.
He played it in his mind.
Dexter Fowler will lead it off against Paul Mahalam, and he drives the first pitch to center field. Tabata's out there, not Andrew McCutcheon. And he makes the catch. One pitch, one out. Clint Barmas is hitting the two-hole for the second time this year. Historically, he's done a nice job there. Cargo about third, Tulowitzki fourth naturally. Melvin Morris fifth, Spilborgs, Olivo, Stewart, and Ubaldo Jimenez. The Rockies' 11th pickoff of the year, which is second in the National League. They really run that daylight play.
Work at it
so well with Tulowitzki. Mahalam. First pitch over to Barmas. So that swinging bunt ends up really hurting Ubaldo Jimenez in the first inning after the double by Garrett Jones. 1-0 Pirates. Barmas watches that sail beneath the strike zone. Barmas 9 for 15 with a couple of home runs against Paul Mahalam. Got a little league average, 600.
3-pitch type mix from Mahalam. He's a guy that will throw his fastball, and then he'll mix it in with a curveball changeup. He will use the changeup when ahead in the count, a circle change that'll fade from the right-handed hitter. Out on the road this year, 2-2, 330 earned run average. Hot day game, long catch out for Tabata. You look at him kind of like, man, sun's bright. This altitude's something else. I'm not used to walking around in this stuff. Just ran the bases, scored from first.
That or his pregame meal is a little too close to game time.
That will get you. It's like the double headers when you go in and slam 3 bologna sandwiches. You go out and the guy gets it up in the first inning, you're out relieving.
Hadn't quite settled, has it?
No.
3-2 on Barmas. And another chance for Tabata. 2 outs, that'll bring up Gonzalez. Let's take a look at the scouting report on the Mississippi State product, Paul Mahalam.
Now we talked
about
his fastball. Probably the best starting pitcher they have in their rotation at 6-8 record on a team that's won just 34 ball games. He'll utilize the change, as I mentioned a minute ago, particularly to the right-handed hitters. Now, left-handers, he's been able to keep the long ball in the ballpark. Just 1 home run and 74 at-bats by left-handers.
Gonzalez, a couple of more hits last night, including a monstrous home run off the facade of the third deck. He's got tremendous numbers, 307 average, 18 home runs, 63 driven in. He's hitting 358 here at home. Here's the home run last night against Javi Lopez. He stayed back on a breaking ball, and this was hit a mile. Good eye, 2-1. Hit a ton to center field. Tabata's not going to get there. Nobody there. Home run number 19 for Gonzalez. He has just tied it up.
Second home run now in 75 at-bats against Mahalam. Made a mistake with a pitch to the wrong guy.
Talk about staying through the baseball. Look at this swing, George.
And he got a fastball out over, and then when he did, he looked up to see where Tabata was playing him in right center, kind of dead pull type play for him. He went with a fastball away, kind of pitching away from where they had the defense set up, and Gonzalez made him pay for it.
Now Tulowitzki with 2 outs. Don't underestimate the importance of that one swing. Jimenez gives up a run in the first. The Rockies can't buy much offense over the last 8 ball games, just 18 runs during the 8-game losing streak. That's a really big swing of the bat. I mean, you don't want the thing to start rolling. We're second, third inning. You're going, oh man, here we go again. We can't score.
Well, or you come back in again, and all of a sudden, as Jimenez maybe makes some mistakes and give up a cheap run again. This way, it's tied back up. It's a whole new ball game going to the second. You may add a few more with Tulowitzki.
2-1 on Tulowitzki. And that catches a corner. Troy swung the bat pretty well since his return. He had an 0-for on Tuesday, but he hit 2 balls right on the nose. He had a couple of hits last night, including an RBI single off of Ross Ohlendorf. Field shaded a little bit toward left. And Holland strikes out Tulowitzki, who is not pleased. Rockies get even with a home run from Carlos Gonzalez. Second inning, Drew Goodman, George Frazier, Alana Rizzo along in a little bit. Pedro Alvarez resumes his at bat as Garrett Jones, who doubled in, Jose Tabata, who had reached on an infield hit, was picked off second base to end the first. Here's the 1-0, and this is lifted to left field. Well, that ball kind of traveled a little farther than it looked off the bat.
Strong guy at the plate, and it's hot.
Brian Church will be coming up. Let's take a look at our Excel Energy Fun fact. Best ERA through June 22nd. Ubaldo Jimenez had a 115. Jaime Garcia 179. Josh Johnson's had a marvelous year. Kane and Wainwright the top 5. And now the worst since then in the National League. Who would have ever thought this? Rockies have 2 pitchers on that list. I'm willing to bet over the next 4 weeks you won't see Ubaldo's name there. You may see it on the other side again. Swung on and missed. 1 ball, 1 strike on Church. You could save up to $100 by leaving your thermostat between 72 and 78 this summer. Find more cooling information at responsiblebynature.com. 2-1 on Ryan Church. The Mets and the Braves. Nationals. 3-1. Can you tell anything delivery-wise?
Every now and then he runs. Every now and then he runs away from his arm. I've been watching just to kind of watch, and you know what you mean by running away from the arm. That front side opens too quick. The lead arm pulls away from the hip area. And when you do that, you get rotational up on top instead of that good downward plane. But that's just ever so often.
Ryan Church out of Santa Barbara. At least that's where he was born. And the 3-2. Ooh, boy. That's a pitch that Waldo really wanted. Kind of that hip side sinker. Jim Tracy can't believe it wasn't called the strike.
Young rookie. Here's what we're talking about a little bit with Rivaldo. Watch the front side of this shoulder right here as he starts to come to the plate. Sometimes what happens is this will rotate out. And when you do, and this elbow gets pulled this way, obviously when you do that, everything's going to work the opposite way. That last pitch, he stayed right on line, as everybody thought it was. It was a pretty good pitch to Church. I thought this ball had a pretty good move to it. The strike zone tells you it doesn't. It was an inside pitch.
Bobby Crosby at the plate. Here's the one-strike pitch inside. Crosby, the 2004 Rookie of the Year in the American League. He led all rookies in home runs, ribbies, hits, doubles, total bases, extra base hits. Back in 2004. He's battled a lot of injuries, to be honest, since then. He had 22 home runs his rookie year. Didn't have a great average. He had 239. 05, he had 276 in 84 games. That's the highest batting average of his career. That's in there 1 and 2. And this is slowly hit. Stewart's going to have one play, and that's going across the diamond. 2 outs. As Church is now in scoring position for Jason Jaramillo.
Good catch and throw guy. Played for Matt Holliday's dad, actually, was the head coach at Oklahoma State at the time. That he was a catcher there.
He's from Wisconsin. I don't know how often the Cowboys are up in Wisconsin.
Well, they at that time, Tom did a good job. He recruited throughout the United States. A lot of kids from out of California. Their alumni base of guys like Incavilla, John Farrell, pitching coach with Boston, Ventura. And a way to find guys.
Hardest ball we've seen this afternoon from Jimenez. That cruised over at 99 miles an hour. Church at second base. Jimenez trying to put the inning down. That's Bender in there for a strike. 0-2.
Curveball at 80 miles an hour. See a left elbow tuck. Everything stayed on line. The arm on top of the baseball. Good result.
Here's the 0-2 to Jaramillo. Strike 3. He's gone.
That was fun.
Not really. Middle of 2. Melvin Moore to lead it off. The Rockies and Pirates tied at 1. home run for the Rockies. Let's send it down to Alana Rizzo for today's great Colorado Payback sideline report.
All right, guys, thanks very much. What's in a name? Well, first baseman Garrett Jones has a lot to choose from in terms of nicknames. G.I. Jones, GFJ, which is Garrett freaking Jones, given to him by one of the Pirates broadcasters. But when asked what his favorite nickname was, he said, "It's one that my teammates don't call me. I'm known as Bam Bam to my closest friends. The reason being, when he grew up, he always had a bat on his shoulder. He would walk around the neighborhood with the bat. One of his neighbors said, 'You know what? You look like that kid from the Flintstones, Bam Bam, that always has the club.' And he's been known as Bam Bam to his closest friends and family ever since, guys."
Yeah, well, when he hits the ball, sometimes it goes Bam Bam over the wall. 1 ball, 1 strike on Melvin Mora. He'll be followed by Ryan Spilborghs. And that is a fair ball. I've been very impressed, George, with Pedro Alvarez's arm in particular.
Well, you know, the thing I noticed when he doesn't think about it, like that play where he just fielded it and the snap throw to first base, it's pretty much on line. When he has a little bit of time to think, if you look back at the last couple of ball games and he pats that glove twice and really airs it out to show it off, it has a tendency to get a little bit more wilder than it does just instead of just reacting when he catches the ball. But it's an impressive arm, impressive range for a big guy at third.
Here's Spilborghs. Ryan getting a lot of playing time because he's hit well over 300 in the month of July. 316 to be exact. 2 for 14 lifetime against Mahala. Cubs in town, beginning a series tomorrow, in fact. Cubs are already here. Got here last night. Limited schedule today in both leagues. That's in there also, 1-2. Willeen Rosario hit another home run for Tulsa.
He has really swung the bat well there. I had an opportunity when I was home after the break to go out and watch a few ball games. He swung the bat well. The catching is getting much better than what it was at the start of the year. He's done a much better job of calling the game. He's maturing very quickly in a very difficult league, the Texas League, the Double-A League.
He is the youngest player in the Texas League. He's 20. He's got 19 home runs. That's off the plate. 3-2.
In a difficult ballpark at Tulsa because of the new situation, the way it's situated downtown. The south wind blows in on a right hand, so you've really got to be able to hit the ball some nights to get it out. That new facility, players are just raving about it because the locker room, the indoor facility to hit in down by the locker room, the ballpark. They're about 95,000 ahead in attendance right now.
That's terrific. 1 out walk to Spilborghs. Olivo coming up. Let's take a look at our Breaks Plus Take a Break poll of the game. Text your answers as always to 95323. Should pitchers wear protective headgear? Text Rocks 1 for yes, safety first. Rocks 2 for no. Go to Breaks Plus this month. $25 off any brake service. $10 off any oil change from Breaks Plus. I don't know how you could wear a hard hat as a pitcher, George.
I know there's some days you went to the mound, you wish you had an L screen. I mean, it's what you're tossing up there, but a hard hat, not going to happen. Last night, the line drive off Tulowitzki's bat landed out into right center field. Ollendorf fortunately went and had these scans, and everything came up negative. He's at the ballpark.
Misses on Miguel Olivo. There's Ross. Again, as George was talking about, he came back from the hospital, was in the dugout before the ball game was over.
His dad's here from Austin, Texas, and there was some guys with the Pirates go, look, he might be the smartest guy on the team. Ivy League graduate from Austin, Texas, but he goes, he's country strong. He said they raise a cattle ranch down in Austin, Texas. His dad's here.
Yeah. He's a hard-working kid off the field. He's a hard-working kid on the field. And he obviously was a very hard-working kid in the classroom. Graduate of Princeton. And Miguel bounces it. Alvarez comes up with it. One play, high throw to first. And Spilborghs is going to move up. Olivo moves up. That's exactly what you talked about, George. He got to the baseball. And he's got a very powerful arm, but that thing took off on him. And the Pirates Lucky the thing didn't go into the seats.
Yeah, they're very lucky that ball didn't end up into the seats, because he's thinking about a ball getting into the outfield. He dives, makes a great play on it. Just works underneath, just airmails this thing over a very tall man at first base. And then Jones, and when he got back to the baseball, everybody had held position. Smart move.
Is an infield hit for Olivo, and then an error obviously on Alvarez, allowing each runner to move up a base. See if the Rockies can capitalize. John Russell is
Did you see the
walk.
look? I'm going to tell
Left
you.
on left, he's going to walk Ian Stewart.
Did you see the look Mahalan gave to their dugout? He's got left on left, guys hitting eighth, he's struggling, and they say to walk him, and he looks in the dugout like, what are you doing? This is left on left. Let me face him, and then let me go get Jimenez. Because if Jimenez, strike him out, and I'm facing the top of their lineup in a right-handed bat.
Yeah, I know Ubaldo's going. It's still the second inning, and with the situation left on left, and the fact that Ian Stewart, who obviously is very dangerous, but he's still hitting in the low 200s against a left-handed pitcher. I'm a little surprised that John Russell's elected to do this.
The Rockies third in the National League in RBIs by a pitcher with 15. The Brewers lead it with 18, followed by the Reds with 17. Ubaldo on the year with 4 RBIs. Mahalan was not happy with that decision out of the dugout.
George, I got a question for you, and you at home can answer. We won't be able to hear you, but please speak to us. Who do you think leads the Rockies in infield hits this year?
Miguel Olivo.
Nice job, George. Miguel Olivo with 10. Jimenez showed bunt.
Just to try to draw a ball, and that's what he did. Mahalan with bases loaded, the opposition. Mahalan 4-12.
Yeah, he wasn't going to bunt it when he showed it that early.
Just trying to get it into a hitter's count, force in the fastball count.
Baldo wants to lift this baseball. Last thing you want to see is one on the ground. In fact, you would rather see, if you're Jim Tracy, you want to see obviously a fly ball or a punch out. You do not want to see the ball on the ground.
Ball gets on the ground, good opportunity for a double play ball.
One and two. On deck is Dexter Fowler. Bases loaded, 1-1 ball game. Spilborg's at third. He originally walked. Olivo an infield hit. And then the intentional pass of Ian Stewart. Check it out with Mark Carlson, no swing. Outfield is shortened up with Jimenez at the plate. And Jimenez goes down swing. So there's 2 outs, and Dexter Fowler will try to provide what has been so elusive for the Rockies over the last week and a half, and that's a 2-out hit.
Well, the first part of the strategy for John Russell has worked with the walk of Stewart. He was able to get the out without anybody advancing or a ball put in play. Fowler fired at the first pitch in his first at bat and hit a fly ball to center field.
The outfield always has played every hitter to pull so far in this game. That's in there for a strike. Dexter's faced Mahalan before. He's faced him a few times. 5 for 9 coming in, so 5 for 10 against Mahalan. One and one. Here's the old swing pitch.
Well, one thing that he does do well, and that is throw the breaking ball behind in counts or even counts, and he'll really pull the string on it.
Yeah, that's what he went to. He went to a breaking ball. He missed. So the swing count favors the hitter now. 2-1 on Fowler. Dexter trying to catch fire again, as he was when he came back from AAA. Over the last couple of weeks, just 3 for 43, however. Here's the 2-1. And Dexter lines it right center field. This will score at least 2. Roll, baby, roll. Cut off finally by Delwyn Young. Stewart stops at third. Dexter Fowler coming through with 2 outs. Boy, was that ever needed.
Yeah, doing all that in front of mom and dad, too. That's kind of a nice added little incentive for you. 13 RBIs now for Dexter. 2-1 count, so you're back into the hitter's count. You come with a breaking ball that's on the outer half of the plate. Actually, a pitch that was not a strike. Dexter didn't try to pull it, stayed with it, just took it to the other side of the ballpark and drove in a couple of runs here on the Hyundai Cam. You can see a nice job of inside-out swing on the baseball.
Got Barnes at the plate. 2 more runners out there in scoring position for Clint. And Mahalam, you know, he's aware of the fact that number 5's on deck.
Well, I think he's still mindset thinking of the intentional walk to Stewart. Still mad about the fact that that second half of the strategy did not work, but maybe because he didn't make the pitch he needed to Dexter.
1-4 lifetime with an ERA above 5 against the Colorado Rockies.
Well, their bullpen taxed after yesterday when Ollendorf had to leave in the first inning. And maybe one of those days as a starting pitcher. But you just got to bite the bullet. They threw 8 1/3 innings yesterday out of their bullpen. And of course, Gallagher, who got the win, threw 3 1/3 innings of that.
6 guys came jogging in from the bullpen. Down 1-1. Barmes, a fly ball to center field his first time up. Outside, 2-1. There's something interesting about Barmes. He's produced 108 RBIs in 188 career games, hitting in the second spot. Remember last year, George? He was terrific right after Jim Tracy took over in this spot. Here's the 2-1. Line drive, get down. It will, base hit. Here's Dexter Fowler. And Dexter will score. 2-run single for Barmes. 5-1 Colorado. All with 2 outs. 2 outstanding pieces of hitting. Both Fowler and Barmes going the other way.
46 RBIs now for Clint Barmes. A lot of those have been in the 8-hole, but he was against a guy today that he had an awful lot of success on. Mahalam got a ball away from him, didn't try to do much with it, just really dropped the inside part of the bat in on the baseball to drive to the right side. The play not made right by Young. It bounced in. A strong throw to the plate. Not in time to get Fowler.
Third hit in the inning for the Rockies. They're up 5-1. And Carlos Gonzalez with another look now at Paul Mahalam. He hit one close to 430 feet against him his first time up. Runner going, and Jaramillo forgot something. Barmes swipes second.
Third stolen base for Clint.
And this is an area, Jim Tracy, as you look at the replay, Jim hasn't had an opportunity to do any of this, George,
no.
for the most part over the last 8 days.
Having fun trying to manage it a little bit, do some things you'd like to do as a manager. When you have a strike thrower on the mound as a catcher, and that is what Mahalam is, sometimes you get comfortable back there and you don't anticipate that big of a miss with the pitch thrown. I think that's why he got by Jaramillo.
Here's the 1-0. That's in there. Who wants tacos? Fans, remember when the Rockies score 7 or more in a ball game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6. Get your Rockies taco special. Two and 1. got a sliver of the outside corner, 2-2. Here's Cargo's first at bat.
Hit their location. He just made him pay for a high fastball away.
I've been watching carefully, George. He's pretty good.
Did you do that by reading papers or watching video?
No, just watching. And this one's hit sharply, but right at Neil Walker. A productive second inning for the Rockies. 4 runs, all with 2 outs. 5-1 lead.
An intentional walk, and Paul Maholm is hot. He comes in, and Joe Kerrigan's trying to console it, listen to him, and see what he has to say. And disappointed in the decision for the walk, disappointed in asking the questions of why. Now here he is leading off in this inning. I think that discussion will start a little bit more when he gets back to the dugout. Obviously, he's very disappointed that the walk left on left, but then again, he didn't execute the pitches against Fowler, and he didn't execute against Barmes, and it cost him.
Here's the 1-1. You're a former pitcher. You weren't a starter, but does it show lack of confidence, George?
Well, lack of confidence, but more importantly, when your team's struggling, and he's the best starter, let him out and let him face left on left. By the way, the most wins by a Pirate pitcher since the last time they had a winning season. It's been a while. Maholm with 44. Jason Schmidt with 44. Chris Benson with 43. Dukes has 42, or Duke does, and Josh Fogg, 39.
One, two, and Levo grabbed that. He was ready to fire it to third. Porter thought it was a little bit low. 3-2. Waldo still consistently throwing strikes. And a base hit from Maholm. Maholm at first, and the top of the order in Jose Tabata, who reached on a swinging bunt his first time up. This date in history is brought to you by Dex One Marketing Solutions Business Results. July 29th, 1915, at age 41, the Pirates' Honus Wagner becomes the oldest player since 1900 to hit a grand slam. Inside the park home run comes in an 8-2 win over Brooklyn, and the record will stand. Should be 2. It stood until 1985 when the Hall of Famer Tony Perez hit a grand slam just one day shy of his 43rd birthday. We just saw Tony Perez when we were down in South Florida. One of the executives with the Florida Marlins. They now have a couple of Hall of Famers on staff now that the Hawks got in. Andre Dawson. 2 outs, Delwyn Young. Paul Mahalam. He's got a little of his frustration out with the base hit.
Well, you notice a lot of those coaches, Joe Kerrigan, his manager John Russell, not a time to go out and try to justify what they did. His coaches to him. In the heat of the moment, a lot of things get said that don't need to be said.
0-2 on Young.
That will play the Rockies' turn, the 113th of the season. That leads the National League.
Well, you swing at that pitch, George, and you know that there's a possibility you may have the double hit and the ouch. Slider down and in, a lot of times ends up off front foot, front leg somewhere.
Well, Miguel Olivo's got something in his eyes. Got to get her to pop out and get it out of there, get him fixed.
Well, while we have a moment, it looks like, it's not official yet, but it looks like Roy Oswalt was going to move from Houston to Philadelphia. As the players have been approved by both teams, Jay Happ will go to Houston and a couple of minor leaguers. Roy Oswalt has to approve it. I'm sure his representatives are trying to maybe get that option year guaranteed.
Well, it's $16 million too. It's a lot of money.
But if it works out, Roy Oswalt joins Roy Halladay at the top of that Philadelphia rotation. And the Phils have gotten hot. The Rockies know that. The Phils have won 7 in a row. Pitches up 1-2.
Even though he's on a bad baseball team, still 6-12 with a mid-3 earned run average. He would be a great addition to Philadelphia. Going to get 12, 13 starts, and if they get in the playoffs, even more.
Breaking ball, strike 3. Beautiful pitch. Delwyn Young didn't much appreciate the call of Alan Porter. That is strikeout number 2. Rockies have a 5-1 lead as we go to the bottom of the 3rd. Scored since winning 10-0 down in Florida, which is also the last time they produced a victory. Welcome back upstairs with George Frazier. I'm Drew Goodman. This gentleman doesn't need a big introduction. Former CSU quarterback, current head coach up at Fort Collins, Steve Fairchild. As Fort Tulowitzki knocks one through the left side. Steve, you can cheer up here. That's all right. Yeah, I know you do. I know you do. How you been?
I'm doing good. Had a great summer, but it's time to get back to work here. Our kids report next week, and I'm anxious to get started for this season.
Well, last year you guys started out in good fashion. We won't revisit what happened after the first 3 ball games, but You have a talented young team coming back, but the number one spot that needs attention is a spot you know a whole lot about, and that's the quarterback position.
Yeah, we're going to probably start we are going to start a freshman quarterback, either a redshirt freshman or a true freshman. And talented kids, but there's going to be some growing pains. But I like our talent level, and I think we're headed in the right direction.
The new facilities, obviously recruiting-wise, phenomenal.
They're huge. Indoor practice facility, new academic center, new weight room. The commitment I have on campus is just fabulous.
You guys have appeared a lot on television going back to Sonny's years, obviously, when the Rams were nationally ranked frequently. That is something I think that garners a lot of attention with young men. What else? Is facilities right near the top also when they tour campus, Steve?
It is. Facilities are important. I'll tell you, the most important component, I think, for our success is our staff. To hire a good staff, which I think I've done. And, Fort Collins is a wonderful place, a great campus, and we just got to work our plan. We're getting good kids to come to Colorado State, and as we develop, I think we're going to challenge for the conference championship.
I'll tell you what, that period of time, as you know, and I know you were following it as a Ram alum while you were in the NFL, following it from afar, but that run was great. And to see Colorado State become really a top 25 program year in and year out nationally, you believe you can get them there again? Yeah,
it's not like we're chasing an unattainable dream. In fact, when I was my last 7 years with Sonny Lubick, we won the conference 5 times. So we were a top 20 program, and it's our aim to get back there as fast as we can. But it's a process. We just got to keep recruiting and working our plan.
How closely were you watching all that took place 3-4 weeks ago with Colorado moving to the Pac, what will become the Pac-12, Nebraska departing, and there was all kinds of rumors. From your standpoint, is that something you followed closely?
I did. I followed it as a fan. I think those things were, those decisions were made even higher than an athletic director. Those were things the presidents and the board of governors and those type people were doing. But, I understand it. The finances are a part, and the television revenue is a part of it. But I hate to see the heritage and the fans and that be totally disregarded. I'm not sure it's good for college football.
I would agree with you. You went to Oklahoma just because I like to cheer for them an awful lot, but you lose that in Nebraska and all those rivalries that you have. Right?
It's like, for me, I played in Old WAC and coached forever, and now we're not playing Utah anymore, and something's wrong with that.
Absolutely. And, from Colorado's standpoint, a huge game every year is when Colorado and Colorado State get together. And now for the Buffaloes, they always finished on Friday against Nebraska. After next year, that's gone, and I'm sure that's a change for Dan Hawkins, for Mike Bowen, and their regime.
Right. It's and that's the thing I think you got to take into account: the fans and the heritage and the rivalries, and even the geography of these things. But thankfully, we're going to continue our series.
Ryan Spilborghs with Tulowitzki at second, and this is a broken bat roll. A good read by Tulowitzki. Alvarez throws out Spilborghs. And Miguel Olivo will come up with 2 outs. I've noticed, because I follow you guys closely, you continue to do a really good job in the state of Florida recruiting athletes. And as anybody who follows college football realizes, or high school football, that the state of Florida, it seems like it has an endless supply of kids who can play.
That's the story down there. Is there's just a lot of numbers, and so it's easy to get involved with some kids that are good players. I think we're doing better in the state as each year progresses, and obviously Texas and California are big as well.
Olivo, slow roller to third, and Alvarez throws out Miguel Olivo. Well, you're down catching a ball game. Stick around for another half. You all right?
I'd love to.
Good deal. Steve Fairchild is with us, the head coach at Colorado State. Football is right around the corner. Rockies right now trying to end their 8-game slide. So far, so good. They're up 5-1. Today's Fast Cash Sideline Report is brought to you by Fast Cash Gold Centers, where you'll always get 40% more for your gold. Again, here's Alana.
All right, guys, thanks very much. Andrew McCutcheon not in the ball game today, but there's probably something that he's doing in between innings. My guess is he's playing Call of Duty in the clubhouse. He and Lastings Millage have lockers next to each other at PNC Park in Pittsburgh. They both have game stations at their respective lockers, and they get to play each other online all the time. Well, the rest of the Pirates teammates are starting to get in on the fun of that Call of Duty game, and there's often times when these guys are playing online with kids that don't realize they're playing against a group of major league players. And one time Andrew McCutcheon asked him, what would you say if you found out you were playing against a group of major leaguers, and the little kid was like, no way, no way. A big thing for that clubhouse of the Pirates locker room is playing Call of Duty, guys. They are big into video games over there.
Yeah, it's a generation. I don't know Call of Duty, Coach Fairchild.
It scares me.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it.
You know, seriously, think about when you played college football, and then even going back to when you were an assistant under Sonny before you departed for the NFL. What kids do in their free time is completely different, isn't it?
Yeah, we had to keep them out of the IM gym playing basketball and all that. Now there's too much video game, too much of that type of stuff, I think.
Hey, instead of worrying about spraining an ankle in a pickup basketball game, you're worried about their eyesight going.
Yeah.
Why have you dropped so many footballs this week? Coach, I was up till 3 playing, whatever the latest game. I was playing Madden till 3. So
yeah, exactly.
trying to kiss up that way.
By the way, September 25th, you'll honor a good friend of everyone of the whole program, and obviously here with the Rockies in the state of Oklahoma, or state of Colorado, the community of baseball. Kelly McGregor on your home opener against Idaho.
Yeah, what a tremendous loss that was for everybody. But yeah, we're going to honor Kelly, and what a great career he had up there, but even what a better person he was. And it's just I wish his family the best.
Have you started to recruit into Oklahoma at all? You mentioned Texas.
You know, we do.
Like it's
we spot there, and we've gotten a kid each of the last couple of years out of there.
Good for you.
Yeah, it's good. It's good high school football.
Well, I go out and watch. I live in Tulsa, so I go out to watch the Jinx program with Alan Trimble, and I head over to Broken Arrow, and then Union run over there, Booker T, and catch some of the guys there that play, and a lot of different people that show up and come around.
We signed an offensive lineman out of one of the Moore High School.
Out of Oklahoma City?
Yeah, very good player, I think.
My kid George, when you talk about Jenks and Union, that's not high school football; it's small college football.
Well,
really
my daughter's here now with her boyfriend who decided not to play in college, and I laughed about it a little bit, Coach, because when he was playing offensive guard at 6'1", he weighed 305 in high school, and now he weighs 240, and he's in med school. So I mean, it's amazing the way these kids are built at the high school level. And play the game.
One of the things about recruiting I'm finding out as each year goes on, the kids that come out of those programs, they know what work is, and they know what an off-season program is, and I like taking guys out of programs like that in high school.
I know even though you're an old quarterback, you like to line up, in Colorado State has a history of lining up and hitting you in the mouth with the football. You have one guy, or is it going to be a little bit by committee? We'll
see how it plays. A couple of years ago, I would have said Kyle Bell and Gartrell Johnson were going to split it, and Gartrell got hot and ended up being a draft pick. So we'll see how it goes. We've got a number of candidates here. We've got 4 or 5 running backs I wouldn't be afraid to put in the game.
How's that UCLA transfer?
He's got big-time, big play capability, and gives us a little bit of receiving out of the backfield as well. So we'll see how he comes along in August.
Another guy that I wanted to mention because he's fun to watch. He runs to the footballs, Michael Sisson.
Yeah, really a productive guy. Just got named to a preseason all-conference team, which he should be. And him and having Ricky Brewer back, I think it's going to make us very strong at linebacker.
How hard is it right now? Next week, you're getting up at 5 going, hey, honey, eggs ready, let's go. I got to get out of the house. We got stuff going on here.
It's just part of you. To be honest with you, I can't wait to get started. And sometimes these last week, you're wondering why you're doing all this. But no, it's great. I enjoy it. I love it. And I'm blessed. I got a chance to be a head football coach at the place where I graduated, the place where I met my wife. And
that is neat.
Yeah, I'm blessed every day I get up.
3-1 on Pedro Alvarez, and he lifts the ball to left field. It's going to drift into the seats. 3-2. Well, there's an old line in baseball that I know applies for coaches in football, and managers and coaches put up on the refrigerator. Wives actually do. This marriage has been interrupted for the baseball season. I'm sure your wife has something similar to say around this time of year. This marriage has been interrupted for the football season.
Yeah,
right?
but after a summer of me being at home, she's probably ready. When you got to go back to work.
You've been gone long when your wife shows you how to start the lawnmower.
Yeah.
Or she can run the snowblower. She can do it all.
Yeah. Honey, do you hire a guy to come by? No, I got it. Everything's fine. You just keep coaching.
3-2 with 2 outs. Pedro Alvarez at the plate, and this one's chopped foul. Now, you have a reputation, Steve, for being tough on guys that play your former spot. And I'm sure you're, because you're a straight ahead guy. You're up front when you recruit kids and say, hey, you know what? I expect a lot.
I want them and their parents to know that, because we're brutally hard on quarterbacks at practice. I'd like it to be easier to go to a game than come to practice for them. And, it's just the way I feel like I want to do it, and I've always done it. And but they got to be ready for it, because it's not going to be a picnic out there at practice. I promise you.
Well, I got to tell a funny story, because the kicker at OU, and I'm remiss, I can't get his name right now. He's still there kicking, but he missed a field goal. And he came over to the sidelines, and he said, I just heard this story about a week ago at a banquet, and he said Stoops is just staring at him. And he said, I called Dad after the game. I said, that guy that came in the house on the couch and everything? He goes, it wasn't the same guy when I got over to the sidelines that loved me so much. But then I got to the sidelines, and he goes, I was thinking, you're not that same guy that was on the couch about a year and a half ago.
And you know what? Any kid that ever played college sports has a similar story. Boy, it was a lot nicer when I was a senior in high school.
Once that ink's dry.
His brother's actually kicking for Tulsa this year. He went to Union. He's actually kicking at Tulsa. His brother's 6'9".
Really?
6'9" kicker?
And a left-handed pitcher, but he didn't make it in baseball, but he kicks. And 6'9". You look at him, you go, you're kicking? You got to be playing outside, shooting guard or something out of this thing, playing in a post. You're a kicker?
September 4th's the big one.
Yeah, our kids really look forward to that game. I think putting it back in Invesco is good for both universities, good for the whole state.
I think it's tremendous, and I think it's, I'm biased because, I go way back with Colorado State, and I do a ton of stuff at the University of Colorado. I think it's one of the underrated rivalries west of the Mississippi.
I remember the first time I walked into Mile High when they did it there, and that setting, I don't care where you go, there's no better setting in college football.
You can't get fired up for that.
Oh, boy.
Just stay in the locker room.
Yeah, you're in the wrong business.
I like it looming over our head the entire offseason, too. I like having that game first.
There's a strike, 1 and 2. This kid, he's a wonderful kid, Ubaldo Jimenez. And I know you've read about him, watched him on the tube a little bit. 6'4", 215. He is the hardest working guy on a team that works hard.
Yeah.
Here's something that may impress you. One day I wandered in a weight room on the road, and I run into him. First of all, he runs 6 miles after every start the next morning. Threw his no-hitter in Atlanta, slept about 3 hours, got up at 6:30 and ran 6.5 miles. He puts 2 1/4 on the bench press. He's got long appendages. He does a dozen.
Wow. I'll tell you what, I was down for batting practice. All those guys are good-looking athletes now. They look like they can play football.
Yeah, maybe some have football eligibility left. Hey, Steve, it's a pleasure to see you. Good luck this year.
Thank you very much.
And enjoy the remnants of summer.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Steve Fairchild, head football coach at Colorado State. Paul Mahalam's first pitch swung on and missed by Ian Stewart. Stewart intentionally passed in the second inning, which really irritated Paul Mahalam. It was a decision, obviously, by the manager, John Russell. And that loaded the bases. He struck out Ubaldo Jimenez, but then a 2-run single by Dexter Fowler, followed by a 2-run single by Clint Barmas. The other run for the Rockies, a Carlos Gonzalez home run in the first. And Stewart drives one to right field. It is hooking foul. Right out in front, just a smidgen. Hey, if you have any damage to your windshield, as we tell you on a couple of occasions every night, we know the folks to go see. Safe Light Auto Glass, 303-287-5000, or check them out online at safelight.com. There's the 1-2 slider in the dirt. Kind of short-armed that, didn't he, George?
Yeah, he did. I think he might be trying to prove a point here to Kerrigan and those guys left on left to get this out. He didn't want to walk before.
It is official now. Roy Oswalt is a Philadelphia Philly, and he will start Friday. Now, a lot of people in Philadelphia were upset, not when the Phils, Ruben Amaro Jr. went out and signed Roy Halladay. They were, they were thrilled about that. But when they let Cliff Lee go and traded him to Seattle, they're like, hey, look, we would have had the best 1-2 punch in baseball as Stewart walks. So now they make the move for Roy Oswalt. We'll see how that plays out in Philadelphia. They're very much in the thick of that race in the National League East, and obviously the wild card as well. Today's E470 Road Ahead brought to you by E470. Quick, easy, and available to anyone. Test drive it today. The Cubs are in over the weekend, and a much-needed day off Monday. It's been a while for the Rockies. And then 2 against the Giants before heading to Pittsburgh. Baldo didn't get that bump down. 0-1 on Jimenez. What are your thoughts on that trade, George? J-Hap is the protagonist, the big name going from Philadelphia to Houston.
Well, I just think that Ruben decided, along with Charlie Manuel, that let's go get the best right-handed pitcher that's out there, maybe the best pitcher in baseball. When Cliff Lee moved to Texas, said, you know what, we'll go win it. We're going to go do it. So they went and got Oswalt to come in and try to solidify things there.
Baldo bunts it back to Mahalam, and he's going to get the force out.
Nice play. Got off the mound in a hurry and was able to make the play on Ian Stewart at second base.
Call coming from Rudy Jaramillo. And Paul Mahalam off camera just punched him in the chest to say, hey, nice call.
Well, you're believing in him, you know. He's looking at a runner. He's got everything right out in front of him. If he doesn't throw the strike, he's not out. But he is out. That's kind of an odd way to stretch to go get the baseball, too, though, as a infielder where he's straddling behind the bag. And then he had to force in, and he still applied the tag.
And Dexter Fowler pushes a bunt. And a safe call as Mahalam tried to tag him in the same motion that he was trying to pick up the baseball, but he didn't have the baseball. So Dexter Fowler is safe at first with a bunt single.
He gets off the mound in a hurry when this happens. He knows he's either going to scoop it over to Jones or try to tag him. When he tagged him, the ball flipped out of the glove. He goes down and grabs this, and all in one motion hits in the hip, and when he does, it just pops out. So you got first and second, just one out.
Barmas 1 for 2 in his return to the 2 spot in the lineup. Just his second time there all year. He drove in a couple of runs in the second inning. He's got 46 RBIs. Barmas improves to 10 for 17 lifetime against Paul Mahalam. He's going to send him a Christmas card again this year. Mahalam's going to rip it up and throw it in the trash.
Well, don't forget about the mini plans in the second half. They're out there. You can purchase these 15-game mini plans. It's called 303 Rockies. For your opportunity to do that, or go to ColoradoRockies.com for more information.
1-1, pulling foul. Mel Barmes last August, faced Paul Mahalam at Coors Field. He got a high fastball, and he deposited it into the seats in left field. Second time he's hit a home run off Paul Mahalam in his career. Clint hit 23 jacks last year. He's got 8 right now. There's some guys, George, you see the ball well out of their hand. You can identify their various pitches very quickly.
Well, you just absolutely. And I think there's guys that you just have luck against, and then you get the momentum going in your mind and confidence going and feel like you can hit anything that he throws to you.
Walked with that to the outside corner. It missed. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Waldo Jimenez at second. Dexter Fowler at first. There's 1 out. Rockies up 5-1. Foul hit the Pirates 6-3. Inside. I've been impressed. The young umpire, Alan Porter, you see him staying with every pitch.
He's got a pretty good idea of what he wants to call for a strike or a ball. And thing I like, it's kind of a one-day Coors Field, yet he's keeping very good energy and preparation in between each pitch.
This is fouled off. Out of play down the right field line. And Barmes hits it hard. Alvarez comes up with it. There's 1 on to first. Double play. Good turn by Neil Walker at second as Dexter Fowler got into him pretty good. 5-1 Colorado on to the 5th. Find out what's possible with the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, rethink possible. By Dex One Marketing Solutions, business results. By Big Brothers Big Sisters, be big and donate your car. You get a free tow and tax break, and you'll help change your kid's life. And by Hyundai Uncensored, real people, real comments on the 2011 Hyundai Sonata. Visit your Colorado Hyundai dealers today. Coors Field, the Rockies up 5-1, trying to end that 8-game slide, their worst in more than 2 years. Take a look at our AT&T trivia question. Who's the oldest player in Major League history to hit a grand slam? See how close everybody was paying attention. Bobby Crosby, Jason Jaramillo, and Paul Mahalam scheduled against Ubaldo Jimenez. Fastball outside, ball one. Ubaldo gave up a swinging bunt single to Jose Tabata leading off the ball game. Then he got 2 quick outs, and Gary Jones doubled down the right field line to bring in Tabata. Ball and a strike on the former American League Rookie of the Year, Bobby Crosby, out of Long Beach State. They just keep producing shortstops. They can swing the bat. Here's another one. I shouldn't say just shortstops, guys who play on the left side of the infield. Evan Longoria is pretty good.
Yes, he is. Who was it with Oakland? They battled some back injuries. He played the left side of the infield. They moved him over to first for a little bit this year. I saw him in spring training. They just lost a name right now.
3-2.
Get it here in just a minute.
I'll tell you, this guy could swing the bat. He didn't play shortstop, obviously. He plays for the Rockies. Jason Giambi went to Long Beach. And Crosby is gone. That's 4 strikeouts for Ubaldo. That fastball at 99 miles an hour and moving. Geico quote of the day. It's not often that we utilize the wisdom of Albert Einstein within the confines of a baseball game, but we will today. You teach me baseball and I'll teach you mathematics, but let's forget it. I'm sure you'd learn mathematics faster than I'd learn baseball. The mathematics that Albert Einstein was doing, I think, has very little to do with how you and I keep score during the ball game. 2-0 on Jaramillo. And that's high. 3-0. Jaramillo struck out looking his first time up. Here's the 3-0, and that's back online. 3-1.
Obviously, working the bottom half of this lineup, you'd like to be able to cruise through it. 1, 2, 3, and look forward to getting to the 6th inning. Here's a line shot right at Tulowitzki. 6-3 ball count for Jimenez.
That'll bring up Mahalam with 2 outs and nobody on. Time for our Quest high-speed pitch, brought to you by Quest. Mahalam's hit 91. Ubaldo on a couple of occasions has hit 99 today. That's brought to you again by Quest, the high-speed internet provider of the Colorado Rockies. Mahalam has one of the 3 hits for Pittsburgh. Last year, he had a home run against the Mets. Mahalam picks his spots offensively, George. He has 3 hits this year. He goes after the big guys.
Well, I know there's probably a lot of frustration still going through his mind of what could have happened in that inning when they intentionally walked Stewart. You know, he was displeased about it. But also the fact you got to go ahead and finish the innings off. Make the pitches to get through those innings.
1-2 on Mahalam. And he didn't bite at the slider. 2-2. Ubaldo has thrown 81 pitches. And now he's going to have to throw an 83rd.
7-3 ball counts will push your pitch limit up pretty quickly.
But he's not all over the place. He's walked a couple, but you know, that start in Florida, George, when he missed, and he missed a lot. He's walked 6 in 2 innings. He missed a ton out of the strike zone.
You mean a start in Philadelphia where he walked 6?
Philadelphia.
Yeah. Start before that, he's a little bit wild, too.
Yeah. And Mahalam fouls this one off, so Paul hanging in there. Paul's a former #1 pick. A great run at Mississippi State. A freshman All-American there, an All-SEC player. shattered bat. None of it got, fortunately, Ubaldo. Barmes takes care of Mahalam. A 1-2-3 inning for Ubaldo. Middle of 5. Rockies up 5-1. Back in the box. Look at these numbers, and they're updated through the 5 runs scored today by the Rockies in 4 innings. Just hitting 161 during the 8-game losing streak with runners in scoring position. Even with the 5 runs today, 2.5 runs a game, not going to win you a lot of ball games. And the leadoff man has reached a third of the time, but he's only scored 7 of those 33 times. So numbers brought to you by Jack in the Box. Carlos Gonzalez, a home run to center field, and a sharp one hopper to the second baseman Neil Walker. 19 home runs, 64 driven in for Carlos Gonzalez. And that is a line shot at Delwyn Young, an out of ball. Can't hit it much harder. Take a look at our AT&T trivia question. Again, we'll provide you with an answer. Looking for the oldest player in big league history to hit a slam. Julio Franco back in 05 when he was a mere 47. He was still stealing bases also back then.
New York Met. Then he went to Atlanta Braves after that, and then back to the Mets, to the Braves. He had a two-way street working there up and down the East Coast. He's now managing in the Met organization.
Well, the question is, will he make like Gabe Kapler and tell somebody the next spring, hey, you know what, I still think I can play? Gabe Kapler was managing a couple of years ago, and he said, wait, I got some baseball left.
Yeah, came back and has played in a World Series with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays.
Tulowitzki 1 for 2. It's behind 0-2 right now to Mahalam. Fly ball to right field. Delwyn Young will get there. 2 outs.
There's always that one team you fight against that you go out and you just have tremendous success. Well, Tulowitzki was the Pirates. He hit safely in 20 of 21 ball games. Coming in here today, .430 average with 4 home runs, 16 RBIs.
Last time the Rockies won a ball game, Melvin Moore was in the middle of it. 5 RBI day and a 10-0 win down in Florida against the Marlins. 0-1 on Melvin. Ground ball to third and ground ball to first.
By the way, Julio Franco is managing in the Gulf Coast League for the New York Mets organization, where you have a lot of Latin kids come in that Gulf Coast League at a very young age, and Julio obviously Not only does he speak the language, he's a hero among those people, and it helps him to develop those kids into Major League Baseball players. They respect his accomplishments.
And you better work hard, because you don't want to look at your manager and have your manager say, listen, I can outlift you and I can outrun you.
Well, I mean, he's kind of in that same mold that Sean Dunston was in, and people don't realize that Julio Franco had a tremendous arm and very good range. And when he played with the Cleveland Indians, was an everyday shortstop. And he just continued to get bigger and bigger, and that's when things started to change position-wise.
This ball's pulled foul by Mora. I remember a few years back in that final season when he was 47. And you talk about a guy that was as cut up as any player in baseball. I mean, he was in extraordinary condition. Inside out swing of his. Here's the 1-2.
Never changed his approach. Had that bat very much above his head, high and wrapped and all kinds of things, but always seemed to get to the fastball. And he was a veteran guy. That's why the Mets liked him. Atlanta liked him. Bobby Cox loved him. Coming up in the 8th and 9th inning, give you a quality at bat.
Another 1-2 pitch, down 2-2. Padres host the Dodgers later on. Game 3 of their 3-game set. The Padres won last night. Matt Latos going for the Padres today against Vicente Padilla. And a base hit for Melvin Mora.
They went inside enough with off-speed stuff till he finally kept one in fair territory and got a base hit on it. A bit of a cut fastball at 87.
Spilborgh's coming up. He's 0 for 1. He walked in the 2nd inning and scored. Let's take a look at the Amica hit zone for Spilborghs. And we remind you, Amica, it's not how you're covered, it's how you're treated.
All right, now cheating on the fastball. Really likes that middle half end. Get a ball up and away from him out at the 279 mark right out there. That's the ball he takes into right center.
Spilborghs has a 6-game hitting streak coming in. 10 for his last 23 entering the ball game. Three of his 9 home runs against lefties this year. Todd Helton on his way to Casper, Wyoming. He'll begin a brief rehab assignment with the Casper Ghost. You think that town's going to...
They're going to love it.
Yeah, they're going to be filling up the stands in Casper to welcome number 17 to town for a couple of days. DH one day, play first the next. Not just the fans that are going to be excited. How about all those kids up there in their first year of pro ball, and here comes Helton. They're going to eat a little better tonight too. Here's the 1-2. No PBJs tonight, huh?
Not tonight. I mean, that's kind of a standard deal around minor league baseball. After batting practice, you get a little bowl of fruit and then make your own peanut butter and jelly sandwich, get ready to play the baseball game, or you walk up to the concession stand like you did in American Legion ball, grab a burger and head on back. It's a long, rough road to try to get to this second deck level, where it's played at the best level in any time in baseball.
Mora's going to draw a throw. Mahalam's a durable guy. He's averaged better than 190 innings each of the last 4 seasons. He's averaged a little more than 30 starts a year. You're a good club if Mahalan's throwing out of the third or fourth slot for you, not near the top of your rotation. And that'll be a base hit for Spilborghs. So the Rockies, who have scored all 5 of their runs today with 2 outs, have an opportunity here with 2 outs. Miguel Olivo coming up. Miguel, an infield hit in 2 trips. Spilborghs has a 7-game hitting streak with that single. Mahalan in the mid-90s on pitches thrown. And the bullpen had to eat up 8 1/3 yesterday, and they've been outstanding the last few days. Olivo takes a strike.
Well, if you're one of the first 10,000 to the gates on August the 1st, you're going to receive a Frontier Airlines luggage tag. That's right. Do make sure you do that on Sunday, August 1st. Cubs in town. Call the Colorado Rockies or just go online to ColoradoRockies.com to try to find a ticket for the series with the Cubs.
0-2 on Olivo, and a base hit to left field. Here's Melvin Mora scampering to the plate, and the throw is way off line. 6-1. Miguel Olivo with his 44th RBI.
And all the damage the Rockies have done in this game, 4 in the second, now 1 here in the 5th, has come with 2 outs. 1 ball in the first, obviously. That also came with a couple of outs on a base hit. Look at what the Rockies are able to do here on a ball down and in breaking ball at 80 miles an hour. Olivo drives this thing out of the reach of Pedro Alvarez and into left field.
Ian Stewart hasn't seen a pitch to hit yet today. An intentional walk, and then an unintentional walk is last time up. The slider misses.
Olivo now with 2 outs is was hitting 270 with runners in scoring position. That'll jump a little bit.
That's a strike. Rockies have 9 hits to produce their 6 runs. A run on 3 hits and an error from Pittsburgh. Florida beating the Giants right now at AT&T Park 3-0. And Stewart pulls it foul. Something that stands in stark contrast to a year ago when the Rockies dominated the Central Division. They went 31-11 last year against the Central. This year they're 9-13 so far against the Central, and that includes 3-0 against the Cardinals. Battling the Reds for the top spot. Clearly the class with the Reds of the NL Central. So the Rockies have handled Tony La Russa's bunch. 6-13 against everybody else in the NL Central. Cardinals played already today. They lost in New York 4-0. Strike 3 on Stewart. There's that spot on the inside corner he struggles with. In the inning, the Rockies got 3 straight singles with 2 outs. They expand their lead to 6-1.
Baseball on FSN is brought to you by the Great Colorado Payback, reuniting you with your money. By the Courtyard by Marriott on the 16th Street Mall. Call 303-571-1114 and ask about our hometown sports package. And by King Soopers, our people make the difference. And Ubaldo Jimenez's first pitch to Jose Tabata is inside ball one. Top of the order for the Pirates in the sixth. Tabata hit one about 35-40 feet his first time up. Had a leg single. There was no throw from Ubaldo Jimenez. Ubaldo made a great pitch, and then with 2 outs, Tabata came around on a double by Garrett Jones. That's the only run against Ubaldo. And Tabata swings feebly at that slider. It's 1-2. 4 punch outs for Jimenez. He has walked 2 and allowed 3 hits. Been so good after Rockies defeats, and the troubling thing about that graphic is that so often this year, instead of trying to build on a win streak, Ubaldo's had to be the stopper.
Well, that's what that's what #1 guys are out there for, and that's why you want that guy, is somebody who can go out and slam the door on a losing streak. And the good teams that are remaining in first place, they have 1 or 2 of those guys. But those 1 or 2 guys are carrying on win streaks as well as stopping losing streaks.
3-2 count, and a ground ball to the right side. Vargas with great range, 1 out. Boy, that kid can play short, he can play second, can he?
Well, you just don't eliminate the defense. I mean, that's the thing about it. So many people talk about Barmes and his lack of average with his bat, but 2 plays made like that and make him look pretty easy too.
Hey, there's a lot of teams that love to have Clint Barmes hitting 250 and driving in 75 with double-figure home runs and the defense he plays. Delwyn Young takes the ball. Foul pop out and strikeout for Young. On the inside corner for a strike. He has a distinction, Delwyn Young does, of hitting the first home run that Steven Strasburg allowed in the big leagues. And Strasburg, by the way, was just placed on the disabled list today with shoulder inflammation by Washington. Here's the 1-2.
I saw all the quotes in the paper said hit the wall. This is a lot of innings thrown for him with all the starts at the minor leagues, the big leagues, the hype compared to what he did a year ago for Tony Gwynn in college in San Diego. So it's a big adjustment for young guys coming out of high school, college, either one. You're doing something every 5th day. It's not every 7 days. It's not Friday to Friday night starts. It's every 5th day and all the work that goes in between. I think that's why a lot of these kids break down.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Young. And another fastball out of the zone. Waldo still got the great giddy up. 99 on the previous pitch, 98 on that one. But too many deep counts. Waldo regathers his thoughts. Got a deep breath. 3-2 on Young. And that's knocked up the middle for a base hit. That ends a stretch of 5 straight retired by Ubaldo. And with 1 out, Neil Walker will come up. Walker, a fly ball to left field and a fly ball to center field. Hitting better from the left side. A lot of switch hitters do. They get more reps from the left side. Hitting .321 from the left side, .269 from the right side. He's been hot, hitting .426 over his last 11 ball games. Pulled to first. Nice pickup by Mora. He's going to do the smart thing and just get it out. He was thinking, George, about throwing it
to Tulowitzki to try to get the force from his knees. But up by 5 runs, get an out.
6-1, get outs. Got a guy that can get some people out on the mound right now. Just make sure you get an out.
It's time for our job done right player of the series. Garrett Jones been a tough out in this 3-game set. 6 for 10, a couple of home runs last night, and the only RBI for Pittsburgh today with a double in the first against Ubaldo. Our job done right player of the series is presented by the Colorado Association of Mechanical and Plumbing Contractors. Have your next building or service project done right the first time. Visit jobdoneright.org. Double and a fly ball to center field. That pitch is up at 99. 98. That was the 100th pitch, so you wonder if Ubaldo gets out of this if Jim Tracy says, you know what, 6 solid innings as Bob Apodaca is going to come out. It is a warm day. It's even warmer naturally on the field. Says, you know what, up 5 runs, it's not necessary to see you go throw 115, 120 today.
Well, yeah, and you got a lead. You've struggled in other starts. Take him out of the thing. Got a 5-run lead. Let your bullpen finish it up.
Yeah, have a good feeling leaving
sure.
as opposed
16 game wins. You know, have 16 wins when you walk out of here.
Push the envelope.
Tracy and I were talking, Jimmy and I were talking the other day about all the different things that happens in the dugout and the thoughts that runs through your mind. And he said, I know fans at home are sitting there going, okay, look at him. He's thinking about it. You know, he knows what he's doing. He said the game is going lightning fast in a dugout. Because a lot of times what you dictate you're going to do, the opposing manager may do something to counteract what you're doing, which throws everything into another level. And he said that's one thing that Felipe Alou taught him is be prepared for every situation from that team. Not from game, but that team. Or what you think he's going to do. Well, all-time wins as a Rockies, obviously Jimenez is going to try to chase that. He's got 15 right now. A lot of guys, Stasio, Francis.
He's got 15.
Yeah, he has 15 wins. I'm going down to most wins in a career.
Oh,
in
a
Rockies.
season. In a season.
In a season. That Stasio, Francis, Ritz, they've all won 17. Cook, De La Rosa, Jennings have all won 16. And Ubaldo with 15 now, obviously you would think he would break that all-time single-season record.
3-1 on Garrett Jones. Didn't give in with the fastball. 3-2. Alvarez on deck. Rockies don't want to see him till next inning. 6-1 Colorado. 2 outs in the 6th inning. Runner at second base is Delwyn Young.
Well, in a very quick turnaround, as the Rockies will travel to Pittsburgh to take on this same ball club next week, as you're trying to look to see how to get the one guy that's doing a lot of damage right now, and it's this guy. You know, how am I going to pitch him? You know, change things around. You know, keep him from having that same success against us when you get to Pittsburgh.
He's obviously locked in pretty well right now. Here's another 3-2, and that is a foul ball just over the head of Melvin Warren.
See, that's a fastball of 98 in, too. Turned on.
Repair that chip in your windshield. Call Safelite Auto Glass 303-287-5000 online at safelite.com. Good pitch.
Got him looking in, made him look silly away.
Yeah, I tell you what, that may have been the best pitch he's thrown. 99-mile-an-hour fastball on the block with movement. Strikes out Jones, 6-1 Colorado.
Troy Tulowitzki, and the pick of Garrett Jones. He's out because his hand was on Tulowitzki's spikes, not touching the bag. Great camera work there. Coors Light, Cross Brewed, freeze cam. Ubaldo's at the plate leading off. Nobody up yet in the bullpen. I'd still be surprised if he comes out and pitches a 7. His 107th pitch was at 99. And if he does, I'm sure Jim Tracy's doing it because Ubaldo will have an extra day off between starts. He's scheduled to because Monday's an off day.
Well, the Rockies had to use their bullpen quite a bit too yesterday with Cook exiting in the 3rd inning.
Well, he knew Ubaldo was going to get a hit. A lead single for Jimenez. Ubaldo at first as Dexter Fowler will come up. Dexter's got a couple of hits today, including a couple of RBIs. Let's check in once again with Alana Rizzo.
All right, guys, thanks once again. You know what? There's an interesting relationship between Pirates' Neil Walker and Rockies reliever Joe Beimel. In 2004, when Walker was still a catcher for the Pirates, Joe Beimel was at nearby University Duquesne. Now, in the winter, they would work out together, and Neil Walker would actually catch Joe Beimel. And on the game on Tuesday night, when Neil Walker hit that insurance home run for the Pittsburgh Pirates, after the ball game, he talked to their broadcasters and said, "You know what? I knew exactly what he was going to throw me because I used to catch him all the time." So these guys met each other very early on in their career. In fact, Joe Beimel was drafted as a free agent by the Pirates, guys.
All right, Alana, thank you. Dexter Fowler at the plate, 1-1. Six-1 Colorado. Here's a 2-1, and that goes flying off the dugout into the seats. Everybody's okay. Pretty good play there by that gentleman in green, holding his cell phone and the bat. Nothing spilled.
Told you we'd get a ball. Oh, got a bat. Sorry, this is a pretty good deal. Dexter not getting it back. Just go grab another one. He just saved a lot of people there. Saw the guy duck and everybody else, the whirly bird skipping off the top of the dugout. Nice job.
Dexter's, you know what? I haven't seen that before. The gentleman stood up, big Rockies fan. He said, "Hey, give this to Dex. If he wants to swing this one, I want him to swing it." Dexter got another bat. That gentleman will take it home. Here's the 2-2. 3-2. Look, the Rockies can get Dexter going again at the top of that lineup, George. What a big bonus it'll be.
It really would be. A couple of hits today. Obviously, that biggest one, a double. It drove in a couple of runs. All those things are all confidence for Dexter.
Slowly hit to short, and they'll get the force on Jimenez. Bobby Crosby with the pickup. One out. Fowler at first.
Jackson, Steven Jackson, the youngster, just brought up a couple of days ago. And they tried to revamp a little bit out of the bullpen. The right-hander, he's up in the bullpen for the Pirates. Well, a few guys yet to pitch in this series.
Varmus at the plate. 10 hits for the Rockies. Paul Maholm, since he started in 2006, has thrown more innings than any other left-hander in the National League. I don't know how many people would guess Maholm.
I don't think very many people would. For over that period, think about 3 years of what you're talking about. 06, 7, 8, and 9. Man, it's a pretty good accomplishment for what he's done. But when you have a left-hander, he's kind of the main guy of their whole rotation and has been. He's stayed healthy, makes a lot of starts, 30-plus every year.
Flynn at the plate, a 2-run single in the second, which was huge. It expanded the Rockies' lead from 3-1 to 5-1 early. Hit the ball hard as last time up, but it turned into a 5-4-3 double play. And this one's rifled foul.
You can receive $10 to $15 in free concessions with power tickets. It's all available now on all ball games. $10 to $15 concession credit if you purchase power tickets.
One ball, one strike on Barmes. Gonzalez on deck, one out. And that's a strike 1 and 2. Pirates go from here to St. Louis to take on the Cardinals. Third-year man John Russell. That's already beat St. Louis today 4-0. Fowler goes, and the throw is not going to get Dexter. For Dexter, his 10th stolen base of the year. And he's out there for Clint Barmes.
All about jumps. It's what it is against the left-hander, and realizing on first movement you're going to go. Breaking ball, or cutter I should say, at 87 miles an hour allowed Dexter to get a little bigger jump, the ball down and in. Hermio handled it, but not quick enough to get Dexter.
Barmes with runners in scoring position, hitting .294. 117 pitches from Mahalam. That's hitting over 300 against lefties also, 306. What you see with Mahalam, the guy who has to live on the edges, step on the gas, step off the gas, you don't see many swings and misses though. He's a contact lefty. He struck out only 59 coming in 120 innings. And this ball jacked to left. And it is foul. Taking a good look, Jeff Nelson down the third base line. All right, let's see how much it missed by.
I'm going to say 18.3 inches.
Well, let's see if you're right.
See, I was.
Barnes with another base hit, left center field, another RBI. Fowler cruising home. Make it 7-1 Colorado. 3 RBI afternoon for Clint Barnes. And tacos for everybody tomorrow afternoon. That will be all for Paul Mahalam. sure you go to your favorite Taco Bell location tomorrow between 4 and 6 and get your Rockies Taco Special. Great at bat for Barmes. And next time Mahalam comes to town, Clint's going to buy your hotel. He'll buy a hotel suite for you.
No, I send a limousine out. Make sure you get here.
He's got 11 hits and 18 at bats against Mahalam. 7-1 Rockies. We'll tell you all about the pitching change when we come back. Ball games and great programs as well, like Rockies All Access and this week, or Rockies Weekly with Jim Tracy. Well, if you want updates sent to your phone, here's what you do. Text FSNRM to 95323 and you will receive the latest Rockies updates. Rockies up 7-1. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, Alana Rizzo. Colorado hopefully on their way to snapping an 8-game slide. The new pitcher is Steven Jackson, and this call to the bullpen is brought to you by Xfinity Voice. Unlimited local and long distance calling. Call 1-800-XFINITY.
Now the right-hander comes out of the bullpen for this Pirate ball club. He's appeared in a couple of ball games this season. 2 1/3, 2 punch-outs. You have to give up the home run in that short stint of work at the big league level. Fastball 90-93. There's a changeup slider to go with it. Will show a split finger to left-handers when ahead in the count.
His first assignment's Carlos Gonzalez. Last innings, Millage in the double switch replaces Delwyn Young. Barmes at first. And this is pulled through the hole, a base hit. Barmes will go first to third. For Gonzalez, his second hit of the ball game. So a hard ground out to second and a line shot to right field. So he's locked in pretty well. In fact, of the 4 balls he's contacted today, that one was hit the least hard, if you will.
Now up the end of the bat, fastball running away from him, a little bit up into the zone. He just got quick, shot it through the hole. Hard of the lineup, though. Good time for Tulowitzki. It's 1 out to get a ball he can hit and drive it.
Troy 1 for 3. He had a base hit through the left side back in the third. Rockies trying to blow it wide open. They need a laugher. Their ace has pitched well. Ubaldo Jimenez to run on 4 hits through 6 innings. High drive to left field, but he got underneath it. Ryan Church waited, and coming home is Clint Barmes. It'll work as a sac fly. It's 8-1. For Tulowitzki, his 36th RBI of the year. He did not miss that by much.
How you doing? Watching for this ball, checking the depth of the ball into the outfield, and recognize, hey, I'm going to be able to tag. He's moving away from it, set myself, and take off and just outrun the throw. Exactly what Clint Barmes did.
Melvin Mora base hit his last time up. He's 1 for 3. There's only one guy in the Rockies lineup who doesn't have a hit, but he's been on base twice. Ian Stewart. He's walked twice and was caught looking. So he's been on base twice. Jimenez has a hit. Olivo has a couple of hits. Billboard's a hit. Melvin Moore, as we mentioned, a hit. Tulo's got a hit and a sac fly. Gonzalez, a couple of hits, including a home run. Barmes, 2 hits, 3 ribbies. Fowler, a couple of hits, couple of ribbies. And this is chopped toward the hole after Alvarez, and Crosby will have to eat the baseball, and that's the 13th hit for the Rockies.
Ball's hit hard. Second spin, a lot of top spin, a lot of speed picked up on the baseball. Made it hard for Alvarez to even make the play on it.
Melvin Moore at first. Gonzalez at second. Spilborgh's at the plate. 2 outs in the Rockies' half of the 6th inning. 1 in the first, 4 in the second, 1 in the 5th, 2 here in the 6th. Jackson misses wide, ball 1. And this is a foul ball. Books closed now on Paul Mahala. Turns into a forgettable outing for Mahala. He goes 5 1/3. He allows 8 runs. All of the runs earned, 11 hits. He walked 3. One of those was intentional. And he struck out 3 through 120 pitches. One on Spilborghs. Gaucho takes a high, 2-1. Spilborghs with the earlier base hit, a 7-game hitting streak. And it's fouled off out of play on the right field line. Ryan Spilborghs, versatile offensive player, with a lot of pop, and you can hit him at different spots. In fact, Jim Tracy has hit him in every spot except 9th this year. Today hitting 6th. Here's the 2-2 from Jackson. And it's popped up. Bobby Crosby, Pedro Alvarez. Alvarez calling, and he makes the catch. Rockies get 2 more in the 6th. They'll carry an 8-1 lead to the 7th. to look back. First inning, Carlos Gonzalez, 2 outs, nobody on. And he would be on briefly, just long enough to touch first, second, third at the plate. 19th home run for Cargo. Second inning with 2 outs. Dexter Fowler lines a double to right center. That brought home 2. And then Clint Barmer's right behind him, lines a single to right. That would bring home 2. Rockies off to a 5-1 beginning through 2 innings. And then in the 5th inning, Miguel Olivo on an 0-2 pitch singles through the left side of the infield. That would bring home a run. And the Rockies now enjoying an 8-1 lead. And it's been a very solid performance from their ace, Ubaldo Jimenez. This broke off a terrific curveball on Pedro Alvarez's 108th pitch. He's allowed a run on 4 hits. He struck out 5. And this is fisted to center field. Dexter's got it, 1 out. Ryan Church will approach. Well, the Rockies and all their fans can get tacos tomorrow at Taco Bell because the Rockies have scored 7+ this afternoon. Do it between 4 and 6. If you want an alert when the Rockies score 7+ when you're not watching on TV or at the ballpark, text 95323 the word taco. Church a walk and a strikeout. Doug's done a little quick math. The Pirates need to go 45-16 the rest of the way to avert their 18th straight losing season. That is a major league record. The previous record, the Phillies back in the 30s into the late 40s, had 16 straight losing season. Strike 3. Ubaldo has just struck out Ryan Church. And is strikeout number 6.
Well, you can see now maybe the body's slowing down a little bit, but the arm speed's not. The location's getting better, and the results are better. 1 run in the first, it's zeros ever since. Betancourt getting up for the Rockies, more likely to pitch the 8th inning.
Bobby Crosby takes ball 1. If you're thinking about the other 3 major professional leagues in the longest losing streaks, the longest losing streak in the NHL, Vancouver, 15 straight seasons between 76 and 91. In the NBA, the Kansas City and then later on and currently the Sacramento Kings went 16 seasons between 83 and 98 without producing a winning campaign. And in the NFL, Tampa, their first 14 years, didn't have a winning season. 83 to 96. So this is the longest in any of the major professional leagues. They pitch at 99. I wonder how many guys, George, on their 117th pitch still are.
Well, I'll help you out.
Flirting with 100.
I will help you out with that.
Okay.
They're retired.
And ball 4. So Crosby draws a walk. It's the 3rd allowed. And that'll bring up Jaramillo.
Yeah, you saw Jim Tracy turn and look and just ask, is he ready? You call down and you tell Betancourt you got the 8th, but if he gets in a little bit of trouble here, I may need to run you out and get him out of the 7th.
I would think just pitch count alone, this will be the last hitter. Again, Ubaldo will get an extra day off on Monday. An off day for the entire club between this start and his next one. That pitch just misses. And Olivo jumps out there. So far, this has been everything the Rockies needed, George. They needed a laugher. They needed to produce a lot of offense. 8 runs, 13 hits. Certainly would fit that bill. And they needed their horse, their ace, to go out and have a good outing. And he's done that.
Yes, he has.
Six-year-old Ubaldo Jimenez, 15-2, only 15-game winner in baseball.
So those other guys starting to creep up on him a little bit. Wainwright with 14 wins struggled in his last start to 5 losses.
He got beat up by New York. And a ground ball to second. Nice job, Ubaldo Jimenez. Goes 122 pitches, 7 innings of 1-run baseball. 8-1, Colorado. Pitchers wear headgear to protect themselves. Let's see how the voting turned out. 81% think not. Again, I don't know how you would do it unless somebody came up with a cap that was soft but had a hard interior. I don't know how you would produce such a thing that wouldn't be cumbersome to a pitcher. And that question, obviously, in light of Ross Ohlendorf getting hit in the head last night. Fortunately, Ohlendorf is just fine. Ubaldo Jimenez visiting with his pitching coach Bob Apodaca on his way to his 16th win. His afternoon will be done 7 innings of 1-run baseball. The only runner to move past second base was Tabata, who reached on a scratch single, a 40-foot swinging bunt in the first inning. And would come around on the double by Garrett Jones. Other than that, Ubaldo really controlled the bat, striking out 6. He did walk 3. Miguel Olivo 2 for 3 in the game. And down the line, Alvarez, good pickup.
Well, I tell you what, that arm he's got, I mean, he just backhanded that ball. Now, he did everything correct there. He got behind it, planted the back foot, stayed behind the ball, and threw an edge as a rocket to first. Made it look easy.
He's got a very, very strong arm.
He's made it look really easy. I mean, it's late in the game. You're down 7. You're just going to backhand, see how he plants, and then just gets on top of the ball. And it's just kind of a flick over to first base.
Ian Stewart looking for his first hit. He's walked twice. Caught looking back in the 5th inning by Mahala. And he pulls one just foul. Just on the wrong side of the bag. Jeff Francis and the Colorado resident Ryan Dempster tomorrow.
Good matchup going on there. And the Cubs obviously struggling at 46 and 56, 10.5 back in 4th place in the National League Central. Hey, don't forget to take a tour of the ballpark. You come in by yourself, put a whole group together. Come on by. You see Drew's private dressing room where he gets makeup every day and get his hair combed. And all of his clothes pressed. You can come by and see the visitors' locker room, the press box. A lot of neat areas at the ballpark.
How disappointed folks are going to be, George.
You're still trying to find your dressing room? You personally are still trying to find it.
I'm still looking for that dressing room.
And the makeup?
Well, you know what? If I find the dressing room, I'm sure it'll be without the comb or the brush.
No, there's one in there.
For who?
Me.
Thank you.
Jeff needs it. Huey.
Yeah, Huey was going to.
Yeah, I was talking to Huey a little bit today, and I said, you know, I use hairspray. I do. I'll admit it. And I said, you use Grill Cream, and I said, oh, never mind. You don't remember even what that is. You're too young. Then he starts singing the ad.
Yeah, between you and Houston.
Hair products stock is up.
Yes, you guys should.
So I tell you
be
what,
able to endorse some hair products.
So you want me to shave my head?
No,
I will.
I don't want you to.
Grow a goatee and a mustache. I thought we were growing mustache for mustache day. You all chickened out?
I did for mustache day, and I shaved it off the next day.
Yeah.
Stewart's gone, 2 outs. Brad Hopp will pinch hit here for Ubaldo with 2 gone in the 7th inning. Alana Rizzo, I'm sure, goes through some hair product also.
Every now and then, yes, I do. Guys, Pedro Alvarez has really impressed this Pittsburgh Pirates organization. His nickname is El Toro, meaning the bull. His dad gave him that name when he was a young kid because he basically ran over a kid like he wasn't even there. Now, on Pittsburgh's recent homestand, he had 2 home runs back-to-back days, so 4 home runs in 2 days. And then he was asked, do you remember a better offensive week? Well, when he was at Vanderbilt, he hit 10 home runs in 11 days, guys.
10 home runs in 11 days?
Not bad.
It's a pretty good month.
I don't care what league you play in.
Wow.
If that's T-ball, that's a good week.
Mm-hmm. I think Vanderbilt has 3 players now that are in the big leagues.
George, that's the SEC. That's the SEC.
Yeah,
that's
it's not a joke league. Trust me. You're not going in there and picking off some soft tossers.
2 balls and a strike on Brad Hopp.
Well, you know, I think he's a little concerned about the ear side things too. Did you notice it? Well, do you do this, Drew? Do you wear your cap over your ears?
Well, when it's cold out, keep the top of the ears warm.
Well, maybe he doesn't want to get sunburned. It's hot today, of course. Now you got overcast skies, a little nicer.
Tuck the ears in.
See how these camera guys pick everything off?
They do.
You cannot hide at Coors Field.
3 balls and a strike. This ball driven to center field and deep. Did Brad get it? You bet he did. Hop second of the series. 9-1. Home run number 7.
I'll tell you, folks, after watching this kid for as long as I have, from Double-A all the way to here, there's going to be ups and downs and struggles, and I think finally now, after being on the DL for 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden a ribcage thing. Watch this. This is great. Tosses the bat, looks at the dugout, and goes, uh-oh, that one's gone. You love to see it. Smiles on the faces, just relax and having some fun, swinging the bat. Brad Hopp.
Dexter Fowler at the plate.
Okay, now these home runs, folks, they're going opposite field. Hyundai Cam, you see it right there. There's a little lift and separation for you.
And this one smoked to right. That's the 3rd hit of the ball game for Dexter Fowler. Let me repeat something I said last inning. Boy, the Rockies need a day like this.
And you hope it just carries over and gives you all the momentum you're looking for the Cubs series coming in, because it's going to be a rowdy crowd. It always is. Look, here's what I wanted to see. You see Hop giving a couple of hugs to Apodaca. I just wanted to see his reaction when he looks back into the dugout and just kind of tosses the bat going, you know what? And again, guys like Brad are going to be a little bit of roller coaster, but it'll level out to pretty good by the end of the year.
It always does. 3rd career pinch hit home run for Hop, who played in the SEC at LSU. Varmus has had a nice day at the plate. Couple hits, 3 ribs. And if this gets down, he'll have another hit, but it was cradled by Ryan Church. We'll go to the 8th inning. The Rockies up 9-1. Brad Hopp with his 7th big fly of the year, and it was a big fly. Tech Institute in Denver, where you can make the world your workplace. A lot of good numbers up there for the Rockies. They have scored in 5 different innings. That's always a good sign. And they scored 4 in the second. They had a 5-1 lead. And Ubaldo Jimenez goes 7 innings, allows just a single run on 4 hits. He struck out 6. And Ubaldo in line for his 16th victory of the year. It's all good today at Coors Field, as the Rockies look to end that 8-game slide. Lastings Millage with his first at bat. He came in a double switch an inning and a half ago, and he'll face Rafael Betancourt. Betancourt hasn't worked the last few days.
Well, this is why you get him out there. You're on the winning side, even though it's up by 8. You're coming in, pitching the comfortable spot he typically does, the 8th inning. You know, you watch him work, and you watch him in the locker room, and you can see that this veteran has a lot of respect for players, and you have a lot of respect from younger players that watch him work and watch him run, watch what he does in his long toss preparation prior to games.
Now, you're absolutely right, George. He is a pro. He is a pro in every sense of the word.
It's like the guy that, you go to an NFL game, you see guys stretching kind of off to their side, getting the middle side thing set up and doing the right thing. Go to an NBA game, you see the guy stretching in the corner, and then he does his shooting, he does his free throws, he kind of does the layups, then free throws, everything kind of backwards. It's going out dunking and firing threes. Well, that's Betancourt. He comes out and does all the little things right to make the big thing successful.
2-strike count on Lastings Millage. Ground ball, right side. Barnes. He's a great influence in that clubhouse. He's a professional. He's a very good man. And he's done a very good job for the Rockies since coming from Cleveland in the second half last year. Javi Lopez, a former Rocky, another Colorado resident. Looks like he'll get a little more work today. Saw Javi last night.
Well, Betancourt in his last 12 appearances dropped his ERA a total point, which is hard to do working out of the bullpen.
Tabata takes a strike. Pitcher spot on deck. Looks like Andy LaRoche has a bat. He has one of those fastballs, George, that, arrives 93, 94 miles an hour, but there's a tick of late movement because you see a lot of foul balls.
Because of the quickness of the arm. You know, the arm comes through so quick on the top side, the 92 appears 96. It's the appearance factor that comes with throwing the ball with a short arm action. So you've got quick short arm action, and some guys have success, as Tabata does here.
So 1 out, 1 on. And Andy LaRoche will be the pinch hitter. Now this is what LaRoche's role is now. With the arrival of Pedro Alvarez, he's lost his spot at third base.
I think LaRoche, too, still a young player, and hope for an opportunity, maybe a trading deadline, that a club might take him as a pinch hitter, let him go to third base, somebody looking for a corner guy.
Rocky see his brother quite a bit now.
Probably see him more than you want to. He had pretty good success against the Rockies. He might be a guy you see get moved a little bit.
Yeah, he's with Arizona. Maybe the Braves will get him for the third time, huh?
Yeah, Troy Glass doing a pretty good job over first base for the Braves right now.
Here's the 0-1. Foul back, 0-2. Washington beat the Braves earlier today, 5-3. Dodgers and Padres again tonight. Florida now leading 5-0 over the Giants in the 8th inning. Again, the Rockies began play today 9 back in the division. And they were trailing the Giants by 6.5. Giants leading the wild card race. Fouled off, it remains 0-2. Giants have won 8 of 10. Florida looks to cool them off. They're now in the bottom of the 9th inning, or the top of the 9th inning, I should say, in San Francisco. 5-0, the Marlins leading. Foul tip held, and a strikeout of LaRoche. 2 gone. Neil Walker will be next.
Good fastball. Just get him in a slider mode and then throw the heater away from him. But he's got pretty good velocity behind it. Mid-90s. Just throw it by him on the Hyundai cam. Exactly what he did.
Walker's 0 for 3. Right field, and this one is gone. 2-run home run. Neil Walker, his 2nd home run of the series, his 5th home run of the year. And it's 9-3.
Well, Walker, Jones, these guys swung the bat pretty good here. Trying to go away with a fastball that was up, elevated, inner half. And just a very high fly by using the timing mechanism. A little tap and then brought everything to the backside to load before contact made.
Garrett Jones, who had 2 home runs yesterday at the plate, has driven in the other run today. An RBI double back in the 1st inning. Crowd of 34,158 this afternoon. Either left work early or skipped out for a little bit. We appreciate it. And it looks like they will leave happy today. That's a strike. 2-1 on Jones. Two and two. Jones came up in the Braves organization, originally a 14th round pick of Atlanta back in '99. He was signed by Minnesota originally as a minor league free agent, and then signed by the Pirates as a minor league free agent. Got 77 at bats with Minnesota in 2007. Spent all of '08 in the minors. Swung on and missed. And finally got a realistic opportunity last year, and he responded with 21 home runs. 2-run home run from Neil Walker makes it 9-3. Carlos Gonzalez at the plate, and Paul Mahalam delivers, and then Cargo delivers. 430 feet later, the ball's in the seats. His 19th big fly of the year. Our Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. And Carlos will lead it off against Javier Lopez, who he hit one against yesterday. Hit one off the facade of the third deck, in fact. 15 hits for the Rockies, 9 runs, most they've scored since beating Florida 10-0, which was also their last victory 9 days ago. The numbers on Javier Lopez, who spent the last 4 years in a Boston Red Sox uniform. Mentioned it yesterday, still makes his home in Colorado, the Golden area. Good guy. Javier Lopez, a product of the University of Virginia. He's a good athlete, too. Remember how watching him power shag in the outfield? Clint Hurdle would say, you know, if we had an emergency, we could run him out there in the outfield defensively.
Well, a lot of guys work at that. Relievers do, and that's why they get to running it. They'll power shag 10 to 12 balls in center field and then turn it over to the outfielders. They really like to come out and do it in early batting practice when it's not crowded in the outfield. And it's a great way to get you running it.
Yeah, and Javier also swung the bat when he was at Virginia. One and one on Cargo. A couple of hits today, and this is bounced to short. Crosby throws him out. Well, Houston Street's warming up in the bullpen, and that's great to see. Houston was down yesterday after the unfortunate incident 2 days ago when he got hit by that line drive during batting practice off the bat of Ian Stewart. Jonathan Herrera is going to pinch hit for Troy Tulowitzki here in the 8th. Get Troy off his feet. Check in again with Alana Rizzo. Has a little bit more on Houston.
Yeah, guys, after his teammates knew that he was going to be okay, they had to, of course, tease him a little bit. They said, hey, you get a bruise and you have to be taken to the hospital in an ambulance. And Houston's response was like, you know what? I'm just going to have to wear this one. He goes, that's the way that God made me. All I can say is annoying, annoying, annoying. But we're certainly happy that he's back and looking to come into the game, guys.
It's great to see Street out there. 2 balls and a strike. Off the plate. This is going to be a difficult play and a great play by Javi Lopez. We talked about how he can power shag. If he's not the athlete he is, that's an infield hit for Jonathan Herrera.
Really nice play by him because he has to run back over the top of the mound to get to this baseball. Once he locates, he looks. Nobody's going to get there. He's coming off the mound to get it. All one motion off balance. A low and away sinker. Throwing over to Garrett Jones at first base, but none yet. It's still an out.
He's trying to be a shortstop, but he's left-handed, George.
Yeah, you know, you want to play some of those favorite positions, but no, the ones you're going to play is out on the hill.
2 outs. Melvin Moore at the plate. A couple hits this afternoon for Melvin. Foul ball. Jackson went an inning and 2/3, gave up a run on 4 hits. Oh, and 2. It's a 2-strike pitch, and Mora bounces it to second. 1-2-3 inning for Javi Lopez. We go to the 9th inning. Rockies looking for 3 more outs to end the skid. Xfinity Voice, unlimited local and long distance. Call 1-800-XFINITY. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Hyundai Uncensored, real people, real comments on the 2011 Hyundai Sonata. Visit your Colorado Hyundai dealers today.
Well, we're thrilled to tell you the Rockies lead it by 6 runs as we've arrived at the top of the 9th inning. 9-3 our score. Coming up afterwards, the Rockies post-game report. Tom Helmer has some more details. Tom?
Drew, coming up after the game, we'll talk about bucking the trend. Looks like the Rockies are in a position to snap that 8-game losing streak, beat the Pirates, and get back on track. Also, thank you, Ubaldo Jimenez, with a strong effort today. Goes deep into the ball game. That's exactly what the Rockies needed. We'll talk about all that. Let's get you into the clubhouse right after the game on the Rockies post-game report. Drew.
All right, Tom. We look forward to that. Clint Barmes has moved to shortstop. Tulowitzki was a pinch hit for last inning. Get him off his feet. Jonathan Herrera is in at second base. And Houston Street back on the hill. It was less than 48 hours ago he got that ambulance ride that he wanted no part of.
15th game for him to appear in. 6 out of 7 save opportunities. Not a save opportunity. It's 9-3 right now. More inning of it work to test the health of himself. It seemed to be throwing the ball very well in warm-ups and down in the bullpen.
And he gets a first pitch swing from Alvarez. And Barmes has it. 1 pitch, 1 out. First work for Houston Street in 5 days. Yeah, the Cubs are in town. Beginning tomorrow, it'll be Dempster and Francis. Saturday, Tom Gorzolani and Jason Hamill. Pitch off the plate, ball 1. And the Sunday matchup, Carlos Silva against Jorge De La Rosa. Jorge's thrown the ball well his last couple of times, as has Jeff Francis.
Yeah, he has. Looking forward to seeing Jeff take the hill tomorrow. Has done some adjustment work with Bob Apodaca in the dugout, or I should say in the bullpen through video. Excited to see him go out. He's 3-3. He's made 13 starts so far for the Rockies. By the way, George Cantu was traded to the Texas Rangers this afternoon. He's another one of those power bats that the Rangers, with a lot of problems that they were having at first base, and they had their DH in Vladimir Guerrero, so now they have their first baseman in Jorge Cantu.
2 outs. Bobby Crosby coming up. Today's delivery of the game is brought to you by Jimmy John's. And great to see Ubaldo Jimenez pitching the way he did. 7 innings of terrific baseball. Working that fastball between 96 and 99 miles an hour. A run on 4 hits. And 1 more out, and he'll have his 16th victory against just 2 losses. And it's about 3 seconds away as soon as it comes down in the glove of Clint Barmes. He's got it, and the Rockies have ended the 8-game losing streak. They win it in convincing fashion this afternoon at Coors Field. The final score, 9-3 Colorado. Ubaldo Jimenez improves to 16-2, just 1 win shy of tying the club record for victories in a season with more than 2 months left in the 2010 campaign. The losing pitcher, Paul Mahala, he's 6-9 now.